Well, so we got the student's perspective on kind of the topics and what happened. Did that ring a bell? Does it sound like what you thought happened, or tell me? Usually, there's more than one
Yeah, I
story to these
appreciate
things. So
In fact, let me give you this. I printed this off for you.
sure.
In the first couple of in the syllabus, the first couple class periods, a big portion is talks about the purpose of higher education, academic discourse.
Yeah.
So I make a huge. It's like one of these soapbox rah
Yeah,
rah things
yeah,
that
yeah,
day
yeah.
one's saying. When I go through say, and we talk about the attendance policy, I
Yeah.
say the main reason why I should be here is that you all have a unique perspective to share.
Yeah.
7 billion people on the planet, no one like you.
Yeah.
And if you're not here, you can't share that with us.
Yeah.
And so I have them read this article, and that's just a part of it. But essentially, the article says, too often, and it's written by college professors, too often college students, anytime they hear a topic that they're comfortable with, instead of wanting to discuss it, they just want to say, I'm uncomfortable. We can't talk about that, right?
Yep.
So we were talking in class about these are the kinds of
make
things.
you uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. And that in the academic world, instead of, if I said, for example, you should all be here. I said, you may be a liberal Democrats, and you hold all those. Someone over here might be a conservative.
Yeah.
And both views are valid. Both views deserve to be aired. And in the non-academic world, what happens is this guy talks, and she says, well, you're just a bigot.
Yeah, right.
And now suddenly it's over.
We label it and it's easy. Yeah.
Exactly. And now I've won the discussion.
Yeah, right.
And so I said, but there's going to be lots of things that you might even find personal. And I actually told the students, if there is something that is so amazingly personal that you can't discuss it, you can either, if you know we're going to talk about it, you can tell me I can't be there that day. Or if we're into it unexpectedly, you can leave and then tell me later. And I won't be against you. And so we talked about what kinds of things are they. And the one someone brought up, the transgender thing.
Yeah.
And so and this was like a whole discussion over 2 days, not condensed into.
Yeah.
And I said, so there are.
I had you come in. Right. There's always context to it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I said, now the kind of what you hear a lot in the media, especially, is that we should support transgender, Caitlyn Jenner, all these kinds of things. It's all good. We're all non-judgmental. I said, but there are people that hold radically different views. There are people who think that there is no such thing really as transgender. That you can't. Like the argument was, if I'm a man, I can't say I feel like a woman because as a man, I can't know what it is to be a woman. I can only say I feel like I imagine a woman feels. Yeah. I said, so what about those people? Right? They have a valid view that should be aired and discussed. And then later on, we went into there was an article. I think I posted it to our Blackboard page because the department has created a Blackboard page because students participate in that more than not Blackboard, sorry, Facebook.
And,
Facebook page.
Okay.
All our courses have Facebook pages because students will participate in that
more
before
than
they participate in Blackboard.
We pay a lot of money for Blackboard. That's too bad.
Yeah, exactly. So I shared an article about a student. It's a high school student who's male but identifies as female and wants to be able to use the girls' locker room. And the parents, in fact, Lance Berkman, who was a baseball player, played for the Astros, I think. He did a public service announcement thing saying, don't let this happen. Don't let boys go in girls' lockers. And I said, we all, most people, or we think most people, a lot of people are saying, we shouldn't judge if he identifies as whatever. But what about those parents who say, I don't want a boy?
Right.
And what about a guy who says, hey, man, I'll just say I identify as a girl. I go watch a girl shower naked. What about that? Well, how do you take that into account?
Right.
And so it was, in fact, a very nice discussion of seeing other perspectives. But it was early in the term. And the funny thing is, this would be hilariously ironic if it wasn't kind of sad. That the article says what students do is they run right to people and complain. And so professors are afraid to talk about things for fear that they're going to have this meeting right here. And then that's exactly what this student did, did exactly what the article talks about.
I think one of the concerns, I think the student does identify as transgender. She hit one of those spots.
Exactly.
And so she's hearing what I heard you say. An argument that people could make is she's hearing that as your personal opinion and this. And that's where the difference is.
And I understand that if it's something that's close to home to you, you are hypersensitive there. And it's easy to hear something that's not there.
And providing, obviously, we want to have the discourse, the discussion. I mean, that's the value of us all being here, honestly. You got to know that part.
Exactly.
So I think the piece that we have to be sensitive of in this case, too, is that certainly Title VII and Title IX gender discrimination discrimination issues, if someone were to say, this is my opinion, that someone perceiving that comment as discriminatory is possible. No, I mean, you presenting that as something someone might think, not as something you think, is a big distinction here.
Right.
So I think the way you presented, the way you described it to me makes perfect sense. I just, again, you're approaching the topic in a sensitive, appropriate manner, and just, I think the training and things that people, students, various people are out doing on, particularly Title IX right now, any gender-based discrimination of any type, which this falls roughly into that category, has been, we're getting 20, 30 complaints a semester, whereas we didn't used to get that in 10 years.
Right.
So, I mean, part of it's been positive because I think there's an awareness for real true discrimination that's occurring. And I think that's a positive thing, and that's for coming forward. But I think the lines and the nuances and the subtleties that I think you handle very, very, very well, not everybody's got that figured out yet. So, yeah, I appreciate you coming and describing it to me. I mean, I think, and the student, to be fair, was also not out to get, we had someone that bring the torch, burn down,
Yeah.
The student's not that way at all. The student just, it struck a chord. The student, once it strikes the chord, how we hear and process things changes. So, I mean, it's just,
Understood, yeah.
it's just being filtered in all kinds of strange ways. And so, I mean, I think, it's a topic I suspect you can avoid for the rest of the semester, because it is one of those topics with that student that, I don't know if in the courses or curriculum that needs to come up again, but if it does, just, make sure you handle it in a sensitive way. And I think if you believe that's something that really needs to be part of an ongoing discussion that is part of this class, I would like to reach out to the student or have the student, because I have not met the student. The student has been working with the student. I haven't met the student. I just have this. But I'd have them reach out to the student and say, this is going to be a necessary part of an additional discussion. It's going to be Tuesday. Because organic things happen too. But I mean, if you know it's going to be, the topic needs to be part of what you're doing in this class, let me know so we can reach out to the student and make sure that we just like you described to them before, that they know that to just not be present.
Well, and I would hope, this is how we're week 6 now, and, I have reminded them constantly that I will say things that I'm putting out there as a hypothetical. People think this.
Yeah.
And it's not my perspective. I would bet, not that I want to see this happen, but I would bet that if you ask a student now, if you hold the same view, she would go, I get it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
transgender
quite
is there yet.
That's good.
But the student's not, but not the pitchfork student either.
Right.
I mean, this is a student that just says, this is challenging the way I think. In addition, it's hitting a personal button.
See, the goal is, let's get you past the
button.
So it can challenge you, because, if you're the perfect person to talk about this, if you've got someone in the corner who transgender is wacko, exactly. If it's beyond what you can do, fair enough.
Yeah, so I mean, I think as long as we don't put them in that position, because I mean, I think they could take this to the ELC, and you and I spend a lot of time writing documents, getting other students to say, I heard them say it this way, last place we want to go. Because I mean, it's just it's not productive use of our time, and your intent is not to discriminate against the student or make them feel uncomfortable. I mean, not to make them feel uncomfortable about this. Your intent is to make them feel uncomfortable about how they think, and that's a positive piece.
Exactly.
So I mean, I think spending a lot of energy explaining that subtlety to a whole lot of administrative law judges isn't the best use of our time. So
that's true.
I think if we can avoid the topic of the rest of the semester, that's our ideal place. Because then that button we don't have to worry about when we continue the exciting, positive part of what you're doing. If you think it's a topic we need to retouch on again, let me know so I can work with you in the student's office. We can work with the student on it. Keep the student where they are now, which is in a pretty good place. And I just I want to keep them that way. And
well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Essentially, and the syllabus says this. It says the topics are class generated, which is the way it should be. What do you guys care about? Hopefully, I try to keep them away from Justin Bieber and like
But
this.
they still, yeah.
But if you hate him or like him, why?
Yeah.
Right? Fair enough.
Yeah.
We can argue anything. So I never intended to come in at all this semester
Yeah.
and talk about transgender.
Sure.
It came up as a discussion in class, which is what I love.
Yeah.
So what is your recommendation then? If at some point in the future someone says, "Did you read that article thing
I
about
think
this?" Do I say we can't talk about that?
We talked about that one a little bit earlier. Are there any other topics we could work on today? I mean, I think we talked on that one, and we want to that's an interesting topic, and it's still evolving. It's really cool in culture and society today. But what other ones can we talk about today? The lateral arabesque.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ideal. It's not perfect. It doesn't fit in with what you like to do. But I mean, if we go back there again, we have another discussion, and the student perceives it that you're again saying a personal opinion. I've got 3 investigators, and you and I are wasting a ton of time. And they have to talk to every student in the class, and they got to talk. So if the topic's worth that, it's your call. I've never once been able to tell a faculty member or another employee, frankly, what to do. I mean, they'll do what they do, but I think just from a from a professional perspective, I think it's a topic that is more central to the course. We have to find a better way to work this, and I think I have worked back with the student's office to say, hey, this student we've had them recently where I've had this, we've got students with particularly strong religious beliefs that these kinds of topics actually include of a way push the buttons. We just had to get them out of it. They aren't in a place where they could take a class with discussions like that. I mean, and so we just have to get them in a different spot. The student, by and large, is receptive to the concept and the class. It was just that one piece was too personal. And you didn't know it. You stepped on it on purpose. And I think if we can avoid it the rest of the semester, great. If you don't think we can, I think that's okay too. I think then I'd circle back and maybe get you and I to have a quick conversation with somebody from the Dean of Students Office who's working with the student and say, I think this still is likely to come up because it was a topic of great interest to a member of the class. Here's how I presented it, and I will continue to present it in a similar manner. So you know better how that class is taking shape, and after 6 weeks, what the interests are and things, and how difficult it would be. I mean, I think the topic, and it's hard to read the statement too from the student. I can't tell if it's just the fact that the topic came up that suddenly put her to this place. I can't remember actually who it is. Put him to this place where it felt like it was an opinion of yours or of another student or something. And I don't know what that trigger was, so I don't know if we could still have a discussion of the topic. I just don't get a sense we want to end up there again.
Right.
But you know what the nature of that class is, the personality of that class, how interested that topic was to them. Has it come up since then?
Well, I don't know I'm teaching 4 sections. I don't even know which section it came from. So the topic has come up since the first week, but not in every class because every class is different.
And the conversation largely been the same kind of that you described the first time.
Yeah, just that. I mean, that's always the way it is. It's always there are 2 sides to this issue. Both sides feel passionately about it. This is what they think. How do you? What do you think about those?
I think if you the one step that if it does come up, and again we don't know which of the 4 sections, so you can't.
You can never know which one to avoid.
Right, and let's if it does come up and say, I think it's just worth one more of those reiterations, like you've done probably 10 times already. That my personal opinion doesn't matter here, and this isn't my personal opinion. These are the opinions that other people can possess. I don't, what mine is irrelevant. What yours, not irrelevant. It's mine.
Yeah, I've in fact told them that. I don't want you to know what I think.
So I mean, I think if this topic comes up again, in particular, I think I would reiterate that one more time. We haven't had. I've also had issues like this where it's arisen, and other students have kind of jumped into where the student has reached out to them and said it really bothered me, and they come in and say, yeah, I know it's really bothering me, and it bothers me too. We don't have any of that kind of stuff, which is a good sign. And again, in a difficult class with difficult topics like the game, especially getting into it, but that can happen too, and people can, you're right in the middle of it. You know how it works. What 18 to 22-year-old minds are like.
Actually, I've always taught in community colleges before now, so this is, I've had students from 18 to 70.
Oh, so you've had more non-traditional,
Yeah, and so my first day of class, I said, how many of you are over 20? And nobody raised their hands. It totally blew my mind.
Wow.
Like, I've never taught a class of all right out of high school kids before.
So how long have you been teaching here?
This is my first semester here.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
teaching for 20 years.
Yeah.
This is my first semester here.
Sometimes I thought you were here before, man. I don't know why I thought
My
that.
son was here, actually. My son just graduated here.
My son's junior here. So yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So let me ask you. I actually want to be clear and know how I should approach this.
You know, there's very little clear here. You know that.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. There is no topic that is, except for writing, that is necessary for this class. It's a writing class. So you always have, we're talking about writing, but then we have to talk about what to write about.
Have something interesting to write about. Yeah.
Exactly. So, so I try to just, anything that seems interesting, I'll post on Facebook.
Perfect.
You guys post, and then whatever they talk about, that's where we go. And I view myself as kind of a facilitator. Let me guide the discussion.
Don't
and I talked about
transgender.
mutual respect.
Yeah.
You know, so
easy answers.
So would you, if in one or more classes, there are more stories about transgender stuff that people should I? Because I hate that idea. We can't talk about this.
If the students bring it up,
yeah.
You don't post the article that starts the topic. I mean, I think for now. I mean, I just think that's reasonable. It's pragmatic.
Just asking for trouble.
It's pragmatic. I mean, I've got people who literally want to poke the bear. So they'll leave here and go out and say, I met with that son of a bitch in HR, and he told me that I'll say whatever the hell I want. I've had that happen.
That's
it
not
happens.
me.
Students do it. But I mean, faculty do it, but that isn't, that's not what you're asking. So I mean, I think if you're not initiating the topic, that's a huge plus. If a student initiates the topic, I think I would just take that one extra step and say, like all these interesting topics we're talking about. And I know when we talked about this one before, and we don't want to really kind of out the person either. Because when we talked about this topic before, I know it's created some conflict. So I want to be clear. This topic, like all others, there are multiple opinions on it, and all opinions we listen to and we value and move on. I think that's perfectly fine. And I mean, when you came in and explained, I mean, my purpose of meeting with you is hearing your context of the discussion. If I would write down what context I wanted to hear of the discussion, that prompted something like this, you said it. I mean, that's exactly the kind of conversations we want on a college campus. And again, unfortunately, the student is also has been reasonable in their concerns. They're not we can't have that. They weren't acting like that at all. And just, you read how it. So you're got all kinds of good information. I've got 10 links on transgender, but I don't want you to post them on your Facebook. So we had a discussion. We had a perfectly appropriate context for the discussion. You're aware of that. We had students that it was concerned. In the future, you have a way that you're going to address it. That doesn't stop the academic discussion, but it is respectful to the student of their concerns. So, I mean, I feel good about that. And it's interesting. It sounds like if I was a better writer, I'd take your class and write stuff on.
Well, none of us are very good writers. But I try to make it fun. And, I mean, that's having students write about stuff they don't care about is what it's not fun. When they are passionate about it, it's what matters.
So, what did you teach before?
I've taught University of Alaska. I taught there as a grad student. I taught North Country Community College in upstate New York, John Tyler Community College in Virginia, Ames. I was at Ames for a while. Here, I've taught some online at Pikes Peak, down south, and Casper College at Casper online teaching. So,
you've been in this area for a while, though.
Yeah, I've been here since 2008. So
very cool.
Almost 8 full years here.
Very neat.
I've enjoyed it.
Very neat. I'm glad to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really enjoying UNC. It's
meet people out here. It's nice.
It's a great place to work. Good students.
Good students. We have, I've been here for 15 years now. And just a lot of nice people out here. Interesting place. It's got, like every place, it's got its little quirks, but it's, by and large, I think it does a really nice job of delivering really good value to our students.
From what I'm seeing, I think so too.
Yeah,
I really
like it. So, well, you've got a lot of perspective. I haven't seen some other spots too.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate your time and giving me the chance to respond to it.
Students, and I'll say, hey, we had a conversation. Here's the context of it, and matters closed. If the student has any questions, anyone need to call me. If they have any other concerns, we'll reconvene. But the student wasn't a student that was trying to changes. That happens sometimes this semester.
Well, the fact that I'm aware of it helps.
Yeah.
Helps as I
Yeah. Well, and
choose my behavior.
yeah, well, and again, you could have been a copy in any class.
Exactly.
And that's actually good, because I think if you only teach one section of the class, then we spend energy trying to figure out who it was, and then we have risks of retaliation kinds of things that, even though, I've actually seen a couple of cases where it was deliberate, but
Oh, wow.
almost always that is not, people aren't deliberately retaliatory. I can think of two since I've been here that really I do believe they were out to get the kid, you know, and that just doesn't happen, but the students are so sensitive to that concern, you know, that they take a step in moving forward and expressing a concern, and feel pretty vulnerable. Big power differential.
Yeah.
And you know, another nice thing was it happened early in the semester, and that's some weird grade thing had too.
Right.
Because that always complicates these things when suddenly they're getting a D, and it's because, you know, not because they didn't do anything. So it's nice to not have that, and that's one nice thing about issues early in the semester too. So, yeah. Hey, thanks again for your time. I really appreciate you stopping by. I know it's a busy day, and can I hang on to this? I'm curious to read that. Yeah.
It's an excellent article. Wide-ranging worry among professors.
Oh yeah. Well, with good reason. I mean, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. So, what's your son doing now?
He is looking for work.
Looking good.
He was, in all his great wisdom, he chose a theater arts major, which made looking for work far more difficult.
That's different. Yeah.
But he'll find it. He's living at home, which is nice. He's rooming with his youngest brother. His youngest brother's eating it up. Big brother home.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Nice to meet you.
See you later.